Hello again. I read a very strange piece in the Guardian newspaper yesterday, to which I give a link in the description to this video. It is about a black woman, who may be seen in the thumbnail to this video, who set up a group for black women hikers. It seems that she decided that she wanted to walk in the countryside, but didn't want to go by myself, and I wanted to feel safe and supported. So I set up a group for black women. She lives in Manchester, so I cannot for the life of me understand why she feels that the countryside is less safe than the city streets. Nor do I really understand why she felt the need for support if she just wanted to go for a walk in the country. There it is, though. She advertised on the internet and gathered together another 13 black women who didn't wish to venture into the countryside except in a large group. She says that you do get people with old-fashioned values and set ideas about what a traditional walker is, and sometimes you just have to forget about bringing them into 2022. I imagine that this is a coded reference to supposed racism. This group was publicised earlier this year when there was a movement called Kinda Colour, which was trying to overcome the barriers which are preventing black people and Muslims from visiting the countryside. I have no idea what these barriers might be. I walk a lot in the country, and all I do is just walk out the door and then head up some country lane and then across footpaths into fields. I give a link to a document from this movement which says, Kinda in Colour focused on drawing attention to issues of inequality and inaccessibility to the countryside for black and people of colour. What inequality and inaccessibility can they possibly mean? We learn too that despite making up 13% of the UK population, black people and people of colour make up only 1% of visitors to national parks. Well, nobody's stopping anybody visiting a national park. There's certainly no colour bar. The Black Girls Hiking Group founder explains that when I started BGH, I couldn't read a map or use a compass. I've been lost. I've got the group lost too, out on Saddleworth Moor in low visibility and horizontal rain. Yeah, that's the way to fit in with the other users of the countryside. Get together a large number of people and then go out in low visibility without a map or a compass. Why, it's almost as though she wishes to make an exhibition of herself. The fact is, walking in the countryside for most of us tends to be a fairly solitary activity as a rule, with either individuals or at most 2 or 3 people. When walking round here, I've only ever encountered lone walkers or perhaps couples. In the Brecon Beacons, it's much the same, apart from groups doing the Duke of Edinburgh walk expeditions and so on. Which brings me to an interesting point. Why can't these black women who want to walk in the countryside just do what everybody else does and visit in ones and twos? Why is it necessary to form a group of 14 simply to go to the countryside? I ask this because I've noticed something on Epping Forest where I often walk. Mostly it's individuals, couples or families out in the forest. Sometimes I see Asians, but they are 2 or just couples, perhaps a family. I never see large groups of people. I wouldn't care to encounter a group that large in the forest or the countryside, and it puzzles me why these women have to travel en masse in that way. I think it might be a cultural thing, in that if one went on her own, then the countryside might be peaceful and quiet, and perhaps it would make her uneasy. By travelling only in large numbers, they can generate sound and noise and not feel alone. Being alone is actually one of the great blessings of a country walk. I wonder if anybody watching this can explain about the barriers which prevent black people from doing what white people do, which is just walking along country roads and looking at trees and so on, strolling quietly by themselves.